Winter weather is once again on the way. We have the latest on the storm and potential record-setting cold that could follow it. Plus, the search for an Illinois woman in Pike County continues. We update the situation there, and host Bill Potter brings us another episode of Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We start our broadcast tonight with more winter weather on the way. Another winter weather system is set to hit the WJTS viewing area, and folks are encouraged to prepare now. The National Weather Service is indicating that a winter storm is set to hit late Saturday night and into Sunday, and they say that storm is set to bring either snow or rain changing over to snow, followed by a rush of potentially record-setting cold air. National Weather Service meteorologist Ron Steve says although there is a good idea of where the system will go, the amount of snowfall is still up in the air at this point, though the organization is projecting about 5 inches. Now, as for the cold, temperatures are set to drop below freezing on Sunday and will stay there for the better part of several days. Monday and Tuesday look to be the coldest days of next week, with highs only in the single digits during the day. Low temperatures will be at or below zero during this time, and the winds may drive wind chill readings down to -10 or even -20 degrees at times. Du Bois County Emergency Management Deputy Director Gary Fritz says it's been a while since we've seen temperatures this cold.
Yeah, in terms of the low temperatures expected, the National Weather Service, in checking their records, indicated apparently we'd have to go back 18 years in the past to see temperatures as low as what we're expecting early next week. In fact, again, looking at the temperatures on Monday, right now the forecast high for Monday is -4 degrees.
With the changing weather, Du Bois County Emergency Management Director Tammy Miller says it's important to get the word out on what people can expect.
We are trying to make everyone aware of how cold it is actually going to become this weekend. Sunday, we're looking at some extremely brutally cold temperatures coming in. It's temperatures that we haven't seen in many years, since about probably 20. So it's something that we're not quite used to. We've had some single digits, but we are going to be talking about -20 possibly on Monday morning.
Now, Miller says there are several things you can do to get prepared for the winter weather, and these include ensuring that your home emergency kit has all the necessary supplies, including food, water, and first aid, ensuring that all water pipes are adequately insulated to prevent freezing and potential troubles there, and getting your car adequately winterized and full of fuel. Miller recommends keeping an emergency kit in your vehicle with items such as blankets, booster cables, emergency flares, and a cell phone. If you must go outside for any reason, dress in layers and wear hats and gloves. Frostbite and hypothermia are possibilities if folks do not take the necessary precautions. Now, let's head over to the weather computer and take a closer look at what we can actually expect with this storm. So here we are now in the 18 WJTS Weather Center. Let's have a look at what we're talking about as far as the snow this weekend. So here we are at Weather Spotter. They're going to tell us, as you see right now on the radar, quite clear around Jasper and the surrounding area. But as we go to the snow forecast, here about midnight on noon Saturday, not a whole lot going on there. But as you can see, we're going to move on, and the probabilities of getting at least an inch or more of snow are on the increase. Now we're going to head through Sunday here. 6 a.m. Sunday morning, you see we're starting to see that snow come in. By noon, you see the probability still going up, and the heaviest probability of getting more than an inch of snow as of right now is on Sunday evening, right there around 6 p.m. And then on Monday here, we still have a lot of snow as we head to midnight, and then the probability slowly begins to drop. Now, also, let's take a look at this report here that we have, the local headline that they prepared this morning, the winter weather briefing for today, courtesy of the National Weather Service. And what they're talking about here, you see this little low pressure right here is what is the driving force on the wintry weather. And it's going to track towards us as we go through the weekend, sliding on down through here, Up here in Jasper and the surrounding area, you see rain-snow mix with light snow accumulations, though they're calling for 5 inches as of news time. And the rain line is to the south. Now, as you all know, weather tracking can change, and this is their projected track at the moment. But again, that very much is subject to change. And as we talk, the southerly track here, rain-snow mix down through here, but you'll see mainly snow in our area. That's a look at our weather. Let's head back to the studio now for more in news. We'll have more on this winter storm coming up in your 18 WJTS forecast, which is coming up later on. Turning to other headlines this evening, the search for an Illinois woman swept away by floodwaters in Pike County entered its 6th day today. Yesterday, Indiana conservation officers say they were able to recover the truck that the McGills were in when they were swept away by the waters on Sunday. The truck was then able to be towed away from the scene. Now, search efforts did expand a little bit yesterday. Conservation officers say they brought in 5 canine handlers to aid in the search. These handlers included teams from the Department of Homeland Security and Vigo County Search and Rescue, along with a private volunteer. Conservation officers also say heavy machinery was brought in to move corn stalks and other debris from the area. Conservation Officer Jet Quillen says they remain hopeful that the receding waters will make a difference in finding Catherine McGill. McGill has been missing since Sunday when the truck that her and her husband, 35-year-old Adam McGill, were in was swept away by the floodwaters along State Road 257 near the Pike and Davies County line. Adam was treated and released from the hospital earlier in the week after suffering from hypothermia. The truck was originally found back on Monday before being recovered yesterday. Now, once again, on a flood-related note, officials with the DuBois County Highway Department removed the final 3 roads from its list of roads closed due to flooding yesterday morning. Residents of the city of Huntingburg will have a chance to weigh in on a plan for the future of the city's downtown next week. City officials have set a public hearing for next Wednesday on the city's downtown revitalization plan. The plan is a result of a $40,000 planning grant from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs and a $5,000 local match from the city. Indianapolis-based firm Development Concepts, who has been working on this plan along with Commonwealth engineers, will present the plan. Huntingburg Mayor Denny Spinner says he is encouraging every resident of the city to attend the presentation. He says he has seen the first few drafts of the plan and he is impressed with the work. Now, ideas for this plan include ideas in the area stretching from 3rd to 5th Streets and from Geiger to Van Buren Streets. The plan will be presented to the City Council to be considered for adoption once the plan is finalized. That meeting, as I mentioned, will take place this upcoming Wednesday. It is set for 6:30 p.m. and will be held at the Old Town Hall, which is located along the 300 block of Geiger Street. A Jasper-based company has announced a key leadership appointment. Kimball International says Timothy Yankee has been appointed to the company's board of directors. Company officials say Yankee was chosen following a nationwide search with help from Chicago-based Cook Associates Incorporated. Yankee replaces former board member Harry Hank Bowman, who passed away last year. Yankee's appointment is set to take place at the next regularly scheduled board meeting on February 18th. Yankee currently serves as the president and CEO of LK Manufacturing Company, which is based in Oak Brook, Illinois. That company is a $750 million family-owned company that produces and sells products in housing, remodeling, hospitality, and commercial industry markets. Yankee has more than 30 years of experience in management and leadership of operations across various manufacturing companies. He has also served as group president of the Home Family Product Group for the Newell Rubbermaid Corporation. Yankee also has international experience. Kimball International Board Chairman Douglas Habig says Yankee was the perfect fit for what the company was looking for. He says Yankee already understands a lot of the company's markets and the company is looking forward to hearing his advice and insights. Indiana Governor Mike Pence is looking to phase out a state business tax during this upcoming legislative session, and several local counties may need higher than average increases in other taxes to make up the difference. Local option income tax rates would have to go up by 0.77 percentage points on average across the area in order to make up for projected revenue losses in local governments if the state winds up eliminating the business tax that is paid for machinery and equipment. Among local counties, Spencer County would be the hardest hit by this change. According to numbers released in a report from the Legislative Services Agency, which is a nonpartisan group, the county would have to increase their option income taxes by nearly 2.8% to close the revenue gap. Among other counties, Gibson County would have the third highest increase in those taxes at 2.4%. The Legislative Services Agency's report is based off of the potential impact of having the business personal property tax eliminated and the revenue to local governments and schools not being replaced. The governor says a phase out of the tax would be done to avoid placing excessive burden on local governments. Pence has not yet said how the state plans to replace the almost $1 billion in revenue projected by some reports to go to local governments in 2015. Pence has also stated that he isn't talking about a tax cut, but rather about tax reform. He says he feels time, a growing economy, and other forms of taxation can be used to capture economic growth that would follow the tax reform. The tax's elimination would wipe out about 14% of the state's property tax base. The report also states that homeowners and other real property owners would pay an additional $375 million in total if there is no replacement revenue. The report also points to potential problems there due to the recently added state property tax caps. Those caps would be reached by more properties, which could cost an additional $556 million in what are being called circuit breaker losses to local governments. That projects to roughly $83 million of those losses in personal property tax revenue in southwestern Indiana counties. Gibson County would stand to lose $18 million, while Spencer County would lose $11 million. Once again, those numbers are 2015 projections. Finally this evening, the Indiana Court of Appeals has upheld a lower court's ruling that the Ohio River City of Madison is not liable for injuries a man suffered when he tripped on a sewer grate. Brad Haskins suffered a ruptured Achilles tendon back in July of 2008 when he tripped on the grate while walking from Madison's riverfront. He sued the city back in 2009, alleging it was negligent in maintaining the sewer drain and did not properly illuminate it. Now, a Jefferson County judge had ruled previously that under Indiana law, a city cannot be held liable for injuries caused by infrastructure like the grate that had been unchanged for 20 or more years. The appellate agreed with that ruling, finding that the city was immune from liability in this case. All right, coming up after the break, we'll look more at the winter storm and the days ahead in your local forecast, sports with Kurt Gooksell, and Bill Potter brings us another episode of Inform. That's all up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Local people watching local people.